Hey everyone, Chad Hasty here, host of the Chad Hasty Show. One of the big questions out there floating around the Republican Party still, will there be a third-party candidate going against Donald Trump and presumably Hillary Clinton? The answer to that should be absolutely not. There's absolutely no way that any Republican is going to rise up, run as a third party, and actually win unless Bernie Sanders decides to run as well, opposing Hillary Clinton. If you have a four-person race, then okay, yeah, maybe we could see somebody rise up. At the end of the day, here's what this is all about. There are still a lot of people within the Republican Party, a lot of conservatives out there who are very upset that Donald Trump is the nominee. As many of you know, if you watch these videos enough, you know that I was not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm still not a huge fan of Donald Trump, but I'm really not a fan of Hillary Clinton winning the White House because she would be an absolute disaster for this country. She would be a disaster for our Constitution. She would be a disaster for our Second Amendment rights. She would be a disaster when it comes to the Supreme Court. Donald Trump, he probably won't be that great, but he might be. He might not be a disaster for the U.S. Supreme Court. He might not be a disaster for guns. And so, well, like I've said before, that's what you have to focus on. You know, all of these ideas that a third-party candidate might rise up and defeat Donald Trump, people are still thinking about Donald Trump, and people are still thinking about defeating Donald Trump. Republican voters out there, those of you who are with Never Trump, let me remind you, this is not about Donald Trump. This election is not about defeating Donald Trump in this election. This election has to be about defeating Hillary Clinton, and it has to be about stopping the liberals from ruining this country. This election has to be about the United States Supreme Court. This election has to be about protecting our Second Amendment. This election has to be about more than just Donald Trump. So here's what I would urge you to do. If you're somebody who is even entertaining the idea of trying to find somebody running as a third-party candidate, like Mitt Romney. You know, Mitt Romney's trying to find somebody to run as a third-party candidate. Here's my idea for you. Go out and vote for Donald Trump. Hold your nose if you have to. Curse it if you have to. Talk about how awful Donald Trump is. But when you go and vote for Donald Trump. And then after that, work your asses off to elect the most conservative senators and the most conservative House members you can. Work your asses off to elect the most conservative state legislators that you can, the most conservative city council members that you can. This is about more than just one election. This is about more than just the presidency. This is the future of the country that we're talking about here. And all this talk about a third-party candidacy is just really stupid. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. You can follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. You can let me know your thoughts about today's morning brief there on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. And, of course, you can comment below and be sure to follow, subscribe right here to KFYO on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button below. Let me know your thoughts below. Have a great day. We'll talk to you on the radio.